Altra formazione spagnola, il Castiglia, che ha battuto il West Ham, formazione inglese per 3-1, sono due squadre di Serie B, Serie B spagnola, Serie B inglese. Va in vantaggio la formazione inglese con un gol di Cross nel primo tempo. Il pareggio è al 9 della ripresa di Pato per il Castiglia. È una squadra che può essere definita un pochino una succursale del Real Madrid, la squadra del Castiglia. Tra l'altro la sua storia è molto legata al Real Madrid, anche questa sua partecipazione. Qui abbiamo visto il gol di Balin al 26esimo del secondo tempo, il gol del 2-1. Real Madrid ha rinunciato ovviamente alla Coppa delle Coppe partecipando alla Coppa dei Campioni, e il Castiglia, che era stato da lei superato, va in Coppa delle Coppe affiancandosi al Valencia.
This is the chief steward. Our cabin crew are passing among you with some tea and biscuits.
Hey, Chief. What? These digestives aren't McVitie's.
No, not McVitie's. We apologize, as the altitude and thin air may affect the taste of your digestives. And their size.
Don't notice, I'm telling you. They just don't taste like McVitie's.
Okay. The tea that we're serving is a particularly subtle blend, best appreciated without it's.
Hold on, I think there's a packet of McVitie's at the back.
McVitie's at the back. McVitie's at the back. Would passengers like to return their seats? We'll share the McVitie's.
Give them McVitie's, not excuses.
I mean, we were pleased that we'd got where we'd got to. You know, we'd had the first leg over in Madrid, the first round, sorry, over in Madrid, which we didn't do very well in. We played at the Bernabeu, which was a big thing for us, and it was Real Madrid's second string, effectively, Castilla. Very young team, and they had tactics that I'd never come across before. I was man-marked, and John had told me before the game, he said, they'll man-mark you, and which I'd been man-marked before, as opposed to being zonally marked, but I'd never been man-marked like this guy marked me in that game on the Bernabeu. That he followed me absolutely everywhere, wherever I went. He just came with me. He was right on my shoulder wherever I went. So if I went in some parts of the game, I thought I'll test him out, this guy, and I would just go into a ridiculous position right on the sideline, almost off the field, and he'd still be there with me. And I couldn't believe it. And John said at half time, he said, that's what they do. He said, they'll just man-mark you. They'll be worried about you scoring, and he will mark you wherever you go. Well, that actually worked for me, because then I realised that I could take him out of situations that some of our other players might exploit. So that was a learning thing straight away, playing at the Bernabeu and playing against somebody who did that. Obviously, the return leg was the behind closed doors games, which was an incredible experience.
Hammers were forced to play behind closed doors, but still scored 5 against Castilla of Spain. It was because of crowd troubles from West Ham fans in Madrid during the first leg.
In the end, setting it up for Pike. Cross and Martin, the two players on the far post, but Cross meets it. And West Ham go 2 in front from Trevor Brookings' free kick. David Cross, the scorer. Chendo is being waved back on. And Castilla back to their full complement. But it might not be enough to stop Devonshire here. Well, he gets away with a miss kick. Brooking on the far post, Cross as well, and put in by Goddard. Bernal, and they were caught watching as Bernal came forward with a really marvellous goal for Castilla. Now Brooking, and now Stewart. Morgan again. There's been very few occasions where West Ham have got their first time passing going, but it's brought them a goal that could be the winner. David Cross. And Devonshire being allowed to run. And Cross gets the hat-trick.
But we managed to get through that, come back from 3-1 down and beat them and get through. Then we played Timisoara.
Hatte West Ham, der Zweitliga-Vertreter, bei seinem Heimspiel auch wieder die Unterstützung der Zuschauer. Die Rumänen aus Timisoara wurden klar distanziert, das 1:0 von. Beim 2:0 sollte Goddard am reaktionsschnellsten sein. Dem 3:0 ging eine Verteidigeraktion voraus, bei der jeder Trainer nur den Kopf schüttelt. Elfmeter, Torschütze Stuart. Den 4:0 Endstand besorgte dann Voss.
Then going to Romania in the communist era was an experience in itself. Timisoara is actually in Transylvania, so that's Dracula country, which we were all aware of. So, you know, a remarkable experience really to be in those kind of places, especially in that austere communist era where, you know, there's in that game and in the Tbilisi game there were crowds. I think the Tbilisi game might be 90,000 watching. Sorry, not the Tbilisi game and the Timisoara game. There were a lot, and we couldn't work out why on a Wednesday afternoon there could possibly be so many people there. But because of the communist ethos, everyone in the town or in the city got their day off work. You got the afternoon off work to go to the game because that's how it worked. You know, you worked hard, but everything was cheap, so it was like very cheap for them to go in to watch the football match. So everyone got off work and was able to go. So massive crowd on a Wednesday afternoon in Romania and in Tbilisi.
Up for a really big finish. And here's Brooking! And Holland! And West Ham still can't get to it. Cross. Yes! Cross has put it in! Brooking put through there. Danes seem to have saved it there. Spurs seem to have saved it there. It seemed to be going too wide for Cross. What a chip! And even Perryman couldn't stop it from going in. And West Ham go into the lead with about 9 minutes to go. David Cross, goal 21 of the season for him, and who knows what a precious one it might be now for West Ham.
The Tbilisi game itself at home, we were shocked by how good they were. We knew that they'd had a winter break, which we didn't. We don't have a winter break in England. We just carried on through. They hadn't had a game, so John, when he found out that's who we were playing in the next round, couldn't send a scout to go and watch them because they didn't have any games because they'd had don't know how long they had off, maybe a 2-month break. And we felt that might work for us because they'd come into a game cold and possibly undercooked. Whereas we'd been constantly playing over the winter. But it turned out not to be that way at all. They just came out and they were better than us on that day.
Молодежь ворот Динамо Тбилиси с ближайшим ударом мяч послан на половину. Утаев выходит на 1-1, может быть, удар воротом, гол! Вот они получили право на угловой.
We didn't really know how to cope with them. Technically they were very good, and the game at Upton Park was a massive disappointment. It was the one that we thought we could take away at least you know, an advantage in terms of being goals ahead of them, but you know, obviously they were down and almost went over to Tbilisi itself knowing that we weren't going to get through. In actual fact, we did so well because we beat them 1-0 in their ground, and you know, we played well. Stuart Pearson scored, and to beat them was it was a result in itself, but it wasn't enough, obviously, because they've got their away goals, and you know, we were never realistically going to catch them. So we were so disappointed that I think had we had the away leg first, it might have been better for us, but it just turned out that that home leg really killed us. So, but they were very good, technically they were very good, they had some good players. The lad who marked me, Shivadze, the captain, was one of Russia's iconic players at the time, which I hadn't realised then, but looking back and looking up on Wikipedia and stuff, I realised how good he was. But you know, they were very good, they really were. So this is Shivadze's shirt from the Dynamo Tbilisi game. This must be the second leg, I'm sure, because I don't think we would have swapped after the first leg. Not 100% certain of that. Obviously, he had the number 3 on his back, even though he was a centre back. But he was their best player. I think he was the one who might have been their Billy Bonds, if you like. Even though they had forwards who were quick and technically very good, I think Shivadze was their kind of iconic player, and this was his shirt. So one of the very few things we never really got memorabilia when I played, because there was no money around to the club to be able to afford to give shirts away at every other match like they seem to do now. But obviously for cup finals and things you did have a bit of leeway, but this is one of the few things I got.
Transylvania. Вошел штрафную, ну может быть, обвел второго, удар воротом, гол! Гол!
Flew in from Miami beat the UAC, didn't get to bed last night. On the way the paperback was on my knee, and I had a dreadful flight. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR.
Where's my fish and chip?
Show me run, just hope we